Good morning. My name is Steve Trout, and I was asked by Drew to tell our story. I say our. Elaine, my wife, was supposed to be with me, but she couldn't make it. She's working at the moment. And so I'm going to tell you the story of where we started and how we've ended up. In 1979, I was assigned to Grand Falls and Wickett, part of the Greater Monahans Parish. A 2-point charge at minimum salary, making $8,000 a year. That's not much. At the time, the pension program, the pre-1982 pension program, required us to put in 3% of our salary off the top into the pension program. We were glad to do so. But every time we got a raise throughout the rest of our career, we just increased it by a little bit until we doubled that to 6%. The other significant thing that happened at the very beginning of our career is that in the next parish at Kermit, Texas, were Newton and R.V. Whetstone. Newton served the church for over 40 years before he retired, but when we were there in Grand Falls and he was in Kermit, they were getting ready to retire, and they were scared. They were scared because they had spent their whole career in a United Methodist parsonage. They had hardly any furniture. They had no home. They had all of their career in the old pension program, which was not really all that good. And they were looking forward to retiring into poverty. In fact, Newton and Arvis continued to serve part-time churches until Newton was well into his 80s, just so that they could make it. Well, this scared us. And so we decided that that was not going to happen to us. Therefore, we put more into the pension program. But we also talked to financial advisors. One of the things that they told us is that we were both spenders. Neither of us was savers. And this was not a particularly good combination. And so we decided at that point that we would continue to try to put more into the pension program, because if we saw it, we'd spend it. If we didn't, we wouldn't. And so that's what we did. We kept putting in. We also knew that we needed to try to save for our children's education. Well, when you're not a saver, that doesn't happen. And so the financial advisor said, you need to start putting money into something that will increase in value rather than decrease in value. And so we started looking for a place to build a home. We love the mountains, and so we started looking in the mountain communities in New Mexico, and nothing really felt right to us. And so we started looking in southern Colorado and found a piece of land just outside of Durango, Colorado. All the while putting money into the pension program. And then in 1982, the pension program changed again, and we had a better program, and the church started putting more into an account for us. In 1988-86, we moved to Aztec and Bloomfield, another 2-point charge. But it was just 55 miles from the piece of land we had bought in Colorado. A member of the church was a home builder, and something else happened in that year, and that was that the interest rates dropped from 16% to 8.5%. And we thought, wow, we'll never see interest rates like that again. And so we went and talked to the bank. The bank said we could afford it, and so we built a home. The good news is we built a home. The bad news is we could just barely afford it. But we did. We decided that Elaine, who is a speech pathologist with the school systems wherever we have lived, makes a good salary, about the same that I did throughout our career. And we decided that we would live off of what I made, and that we would pay taxes and pay the mortgage out of what she made. That seemed to be a good combination, and it has worked for us throughout our career. As our children got older and the house that we built began to increase in value, we realized that the only way to pay for the kids' education would be to use the equity of the home. And it worked. We used the equity of the home to borrow against it to pay for the kids' education. And so we ended up with a mortgage and a second mortgage, but our careers had grown so that we were able to afford it. Just recently, as the interest rates have dropped even further, we have refinanced that loan, we have put it together, and it won't be too long into retirement before the home will be paid off. The other thing is that throughout the years, and I've now put in 36 years into the United Methodist ministry, the pension program has built, the United Methodist Personal Investment Program has built, and therefore we feel very comfortable that we can retire in 4 years when we turn 65. We will have well over $1 million in the pension program. We will have a house that is well on its way to being paid for, and we are really looking forward to retirement because of decisions that we made 36 years ago in Grand Falls and Wickett, Texas. That's the story. Thanks for listening.